welcome everyone to our third quarterly Extend Roundtable. What we're going to do here, Josh Puffer is going to be sharing on our guiding principles for Extend Cafés. It's titled Extend Cafés Guiding Principles. And so he's going to be sharing those principles with us. These are things that we're developing here kind of on the go. So as I mentioned, this is our third quarterly roundtable. This is, so we had our first one back in our first roundtable was in March, I believe. But yeah, this is our first year really getting together here as coffee shops on this platform. Josh Puffer is part owner of Old Market Coffee out of Potsdam, New York, and they've been going now for around 3 years. I think you'll be celebrating your third year anniversary here right shortly, right, Josh?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that in August, I believe. So I don't know, maybe it was 4 years ago. You came to Sowers, and you and Jerry Out, your other business partner, came to Sowers and talked with us about your vision there for a coffee shop in Potsdam, New York, which is a beautiful city, by the way. If you ever get up into northern New York, consider swinging by their coffee and crepe shop. You would not be disappointed. They do excellent coffee and excellent crepes there. They have the crepe world figured out, that's for sure. So they're still pretty new in many ways in this industry. And so, Josh, maybe you can tell us a little more about yourself. But yeah, we're going to look to you here right shortly, and you can tell us you can talk to us on Extend Cafés guiding principles. And also, I meant to say too is that Old Market Coffee is one of the founding cafes of this platform of Extend Cafés, along with Joe Kurt's Coronation Cafe, and also our cafe, Sowers Harvest Cafe. Okay, Josh, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, and welcome to everybody on this call here. It's good to see some new faces on here and some familiar. Hi, Andy Weaver. It's good to see you here. And I have my wife is here with me on this call, so I'm thankful for that. And I live up here in Potsdam, like Bryant said. I have 4 children and co-owner Old Market Coffee with Jerry L. Martin. So yeah, so we've been hammering out some core values over the last while and are here to spend a little time to outline these guiding principles that we hope to keep in front of us as we move forward towards our vision here at Extend. So we have 5 points that we're planning to take a look at here. And I'm just going to take a moment and run over each of those 5 points. So beginning, we are people who value hospitality. And like I said, I'll just go over these 5 points and then come back and unpack them a little bit. So we are people who value hospitality and generosity, collaboration, missional businesses, and sustainability. So the first piece is hospitality. And after each value, we have a little bit of a tagline to try and capture the way in which we want to use this word. So hospitality, deliberate in nature, extraordinary in its thoughtfulness. And there's a quote by Will Guidara. He wrote a book, Unreasonable Hospitality. And in there, he has a quote and it says, luxury means just giving more. Hospitality means being more thoughtful. So we purpose to be aware of opportunities that elevate the customer's experience. And so with hospitality, our goal is to be intentional about careful, thoughtful consideration in the way that we serve in our cafes. So I'll come back to that in just a moment. I'm going to move on to generosity. Generosity, giving more than expected. And so with this one, we care more about building relationships than financial gain. You could say people before profit. So in generosity includes giving of yourself and giving thoughtfully. Um, I'll just take a moment here and just give a short explanation of ways that we try to be intentional in our cafe to this idea of hospitality and generosity. And it's not just giving more, but it's trying to be thoughtful about the customer's needs. So I had a customer at the counter the other day, um, and they came up to order a refresher, and we sell a number of flavors. And she knew she liked the peach mango refresher, but she wanted to know a little bit about the wild berry hibiscus refresher. And so I tried to explain to her what that was exactly, and she left and got seated. And as I was making the drink, I was thinking, well, she really wanted to try this wild berry hibiscus refresher, but didn't really want to spend the money if she didn't like it. So I said, well, it's going to grab a little glass, put some ice in it, pour over the refresher. And so I decided to bring the drink out to her, and I said, here's the peach mango refresher you ordered, and then here's a little sample of the wild berry hibiscus. And it was something that she didn't expect. You could tell. She just looked up and she's like, "What? Like, you didn't need to do that." So we're trying to create those kinds of experiences in our cafes, put smiles on the customers' faces, um, and kind of create that moment where, you didn't need to do that experience. So going above and beyond our customers' expectations with our thoughtfulness and hospitality, and that means listening well to our customers' desires and needs and giving accordingly. Another thing we've been thinking about lately is often we get families in with children, and um, we we want to be thoughtful about how we can keep these children occupied, maybe when they're waiting for food, drink. So we got a couple doodle pads and books or some small toys for them to, keep them occupied while they're waiting. So things like that. And you could tailor it to your own needs or own situations, but those are ways that we try to be intentional and be thoughtful with our generosity, with our hospitality. One other thing, we often get to know students that have been around at college. We're in a university town, and we get a lot of students. That's a lot of our clientele. And we get to know these people fairly well, some of them, and they graduate and they leave. And often on their last visit to our cafe, they'll mention something, and we often give them a free meal. Hey, this meal's on the house. We appreciate your friendship, your support for us, and give them a meal or give them some kind of small merch, something like that to remember us. All right. And so, yeah, just always again looking for small ways to innovate, to improve the customer experience, seek ways to listen well, and accommodate the customer's needs. So hospitality, generosity, and then collaboration. Collaboration, inspiring connection and innovation. We hope to assist each other in a common cause while rallying around a shared experience and mission. So some of that with collaboration is conversation, goes along with guidance, coaching, just a way to inspire growth, create and produce things together as a joint effort. There's a platform like right here where we can share ideas, we can bring shared experience, we can also work through challenges and seek to resolve problems together. And so we're trying to create a culture where it's if you win, I win, a sense of camaraderie. So collaboration. And then the fourth piece here is missional businesses focused on the kingdom. So as kingdom Christians, we aspire to be prophetic witnesses of the kingdom of God and the age to come. And through our businesses, we can have the opportunity to invite others to experience the reality and the hope of things being made new. So that's one of our goals as missional businesses focused on the kingdom. And I like this quote by Brian Zahn. He says, "We live as prophetic witnesses to the hope of a world remade according to Christ and his righteousness." We live as prophetic witnesses to the hope of a world remade according to Christ and his righteousness. Quote by Brian Zahn. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard the word missional, and it's a term that came to being within, I would say, in the last decade or two, through Timothy Keller and some others. And basically, it's just describing a missionary lifestyle. It's a practice of adopting missionaries' behaviors, thinking, and practices in our everyday life, and with the goal of engaging others with the gospel. So if you look up this word, you'll probably find some similar verbiage to the next 5 pieces here that I have to missional businesses. And basically, I think these things kind of encompass well what we are trying to communicate here with missional businesses. So we desire to see others as God does and seek ways to reach them with the gospel. We desire to love our neighbor as ourselves and proclaim the good news of redemption found in Jesus. We desire to tell God's story in the context of compassionate and genuine relationships. And we desire to understand that every believer embodies the life of the church in their neighborhood, school, home, or workplace. And then finally, we seek to make disciples of all nations. All right, our final point here. So we are people who value sustainability, structured finances, empowered teams. So we're committed to financial stability and success here at Extend, and we hope to equip our managers and enable our employees. We encourage long-term engagement, and we hope to steward resources responsibly. So yeah, we want to be working towards having a business that is financially stable and successful. And we are committed to helping each other by sharing, what has maybe hindered, what has proven to be helpful, advantageous to us. So creating, favorable circumstances that increase the chances of success and effectiveness and everything, that we've talked about so far in each of these things. So we hope, and just a little bit on the empower teams, we hope that every employee that we hire has the opportunity to grow and become a better person through their working experience. That's one of our goals. And then whether it's through training, creating time and space for healthy team culture to grow and thrive, encouraging employee customer friendships, and then offering resources to help stimulate the growth. So I think that basically covers most of what I had for the Extends guiding principles, and I'll turn it back to you, Bryant.
Thank you, Josh, for sharing those. Those were 5 points that, as an admin team, which the admin team includes Jerry L. Martin, myself, Joe Kurtz, and Nevin Atkinson, who works at our cafe part-time and for Extend part-time. And Nevin, I think you are on here. Yeah, there I see you. You don't have your camera on yet. That's fine. So we had a lot of fun pounding on this, who are we? Um, who do we want to be at Extend Cafes? Not only as an organization, but particularly for the cafes who are part of us. Who are we going to be? What's going to stand out about us? And so, Josh, you and your wife, I know you put a lot of time into this. You pounded on these yourself and shared them with us, and we were back and forth some. And so I really, really appreciate how you shared that and some of the thoughtfulness you put into those 5 things. So hospitality, generosity, collaboration, missional business, and you had that great quote called prophetic witness. Love that quote by Brian Zant. And then finally, sustainability. We want our businesses to be places where it's sustainable for the owners, for the managers, for our workers. Also from a financial standpoint, where we're sustainable that way. And with Extend Cafes as well, this particular platform, we want this to be sustainable as well. This isn't a nonprofit. This is an alliance. We're kind of merging kind of the community aspect of a nonprofit and the business part of it for financial stability together. Much the same way we're envisioning our cafes being places of ministry, but also places of business as well. So, yeah, I'm just going to open it up here. Does anybody have a question for Josh or any input or thoughts, inspiration in regards to what he shared here?
Thank you for sharing, Josh. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, it's more of what we want to be here. My question is this in writing anywhere? Or, I mean, I was trying to take notes, but I didn't catch it all.
Yes, I do have a PDF of the basics here, and I suppose Nevin does as well.
Yeah, Josh, if you could, if you need to clean it up a little bit or whatever, that would be great. If you could just drop that PDF on the chat, that could be really helpful. And of course, we don't have a website yet for Extend. We're kind of building this plane as we come down. But we'll have all the information on there, of course, at some point. We do have our YouTube channel where we'll be kind of compiling some of these talks and putting them on there. So yeah, good question. I thought of the same thing as well. All right, any other thoughts or questions there?
Thanks for sharing, Josh. I love the short story you told there. I think that that's so valuable, that little story you told about how you listened well. And I just want to underline that point, because I think it was well made. But to learn how to listen to what our people, as in our cafes, as customers, as guests come in, that we are listening really well to what they ask. And then, like in Josh's case, you surprise them. You turn around and surprise them. You give them more than they expected. And I think it's helpful it can be easy for a manager or an owner to give away the house, or to just give things away left and right. But also we need to systematize it, and so that those who work for us can do the same thing and kind of have a understanding about how much they can give away, because give stuff away, give more than they expected. I love that. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Josh, could you read off the definition again that you gave of hospitality?
I think you're thinking about creating moments that put smiles on our customers' faces, and they kind of have that aha moment, or you didn't need to do that moment, just going above and beyond customers' expectations with our thoughtfulness and hospitality, and listening well to our customers' desires and needs.
Mm-hmm. But you, at the beginning, you said I think you used from the book Unreasonable Generosity, Will Gardera. You gave his description of hospitality, and that was really good.
Luxury means just giving more. Hospitality means full.
I'm sorry, you kind of broke out. I'm sorry, I might have interrupted there. Hospitality means being more thoughtful, right? Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, that's very good. Good.